All right, chat. Here we go. Let's get into this so that we can get to the games. Our favorite Canadian, Drake, Aubrey, Graham Cracker himself. As releasing another album. He's releasing another album. More garbage on the way. See, y'all already on it. Y'all already on it. What is the first thing that popped up? What are you saying? What are we talking about here? Look at his face. He's serious. I made an album to go with the book. I don't know what book he's referring to. They say they miss the old Drake. Girl, don't tempt me. For all the dogs. For all the dogs.
Have thought about adding channel point redemptions for us to redeem?
Yes. But I'm very cautious as to what you get. So I gotta really think about it hard and long. Or else I could get into really muddy waters very quickly. But this is for all the dogs. Which, as Tiger Juice just notified, means Fat D. That isn't lost on me. The fact that Drake is making an album called Fat D is not lost on me. I remember there was a few weeks ago where Drake was wearing a sweatshirt that had puppies on it that said something harder dick, something like that. I don't remember what the full sweatshirt said, but it was crazy. And he was wearing it out in public. I think it was Photoshop though. No, hard feelings, harder dicks, or whatever. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was called, bro. But it was crazy, and I really hope it was a fake photo and some AI Photoshop onto the photo type stuff. But last few records that we've gotten from Drake have been Her Loss, and what was the record before that? Certified Lover Boy. I think a bit before that we had the Scary Hours EP. He just released a book. Okay. Had no idea, no clue about the book. I'm glad that you notified me about the book, because without that information, I never would have known. Honestly, never mind as well.
I have an idea.
What?
500k points for feet.
I knew you were going to try to go there, but we're not even about to entertain you. Especially since you're the same person who said I couldn't beat Only Up. We already know what type of vibe hater shit you be on. All right? Second, Drake has had a slew of misses over the last, 2 years. If I go back further beyond that, then there's even more misses. And I'm not saying that, like I said, I like Drake. I love Drake. For real. I want to be on Drake's side. I want to be on his team. I want to be OVO. OVO Sean. That's got a nice ring to it. But if I'm sitting up here thinking, honestly, Scary Hours EP was like the definition of all I need from Drake. And I said in a video not long ago, Drake is best to me when he is microdosed. When I get too much of Drake, it's very easy to get tired of bro. And very quickly. Give me the best of what you have and the best of your abilities in short doses, and I think that is my favorite Drake. Or that's when I appreciate him the most. But when I get him too much, too often, too soon, I'm always going to be in this mode of feeling like, dude, you need to take a break. And I know some of y'all saying he been trash since Views, but just similar to Young Thug, in that I don't usually go to Thug for albums. Thug doesn't market himself the same way Drake does. So when I think about Thug, when I think about Young Thug, and I think about the albums that he's released since 2016, I'm like, none of this has been so hyped up or rolled out in such a way to be made to for the general public to be made to believe that this is a monumental music moment here. Thug just be dropping music, and you take what you want from the albums. You don't really call them great albums, but you got good songs off of them. But with Drake, there's always a plan. There's always a rollout. There's always a calculated effort to get people excited. Kind of like a release schedule. And it makes me believe that he's actually going to be on to something. It makes me believe that he's actually going to put some effort in this time. It makes me believe that he's actually going to do something different this record as opposed to the last. But that just don't happen. Or it reveals after further listens why the Drake that came out, 15 years ago will never be tapped into again. Drake got a $500 million contract. He probably need to drop 4 or 5 more albums. Whatever the case is, even without a contract, Drake had been on a steady decline. And all I could do is hope for the best. I can't really ask for anything new from Drake. I mean, I can, obviously. But will he do it? Does it fall on deaf ears? Is the fan base that listens to him going to just tell me to shut up and take what I can get? Even though what I've been getting has been subpar for the last I don't know how many years. I just have to get to a point where I say, you know what? Fuck asking for good music or good material from Drake. I'll just take what he gives me. That's what his fans want me to submit to. You just basically got to keep getting battered into submission until you say, you know what, I don't want or expect anything.
I'm excited when Drake goes into album mode, cause this mean we're gonna get another Fantano and Los Polos stream.
That's true. I'm sitting up here acting like I'm not even gonna say it. Yeah, but you basically got to get forced into submission and say that you don't expect anything from Drake so that his fans are going to be able to go back and tell you, you know what? Yeah, if you keep very, very low expectations, if you keep abysmal expectations, then Drake is good. If you don't expect any record off of this potentially 20-track album to be entertaining in the slightest and to have any kind of replay value and to not be completely utter cringe, you're going to have at least a couple songs off here that you're going to listen to. And that's the goal. Is it subpar compared to Drake's catalog or just subpar in general, meaning it's worse than everything out at the same time? It's subpar in general. To say that, because, like, I get what you're trying to say, but at the same time, like, your comment kind of, like, is implying that Drake is on this, like, there's this reality that people are putting Drake on this pedestal for like all the other stuff that he's already released. And not to say that Drake don't have amazing shit in his discog. He does. But I've stopped comparing Drake to Drake. If you're reading this, it came out. Pretty sure. Drake is a brand more of an artist. He can drop a pure dog shit album and still chart for a year or more. What is Drake's brand? What would you say his brand is? Not gonna lie, I loved Honestly Nevermind. Same, I don't get the hate. Nobody hates Drake. Nobody hates Honestly Nevermind. Nobody hates Honestly Nevermind. It's just bad house. That's all. If you like it, nobody's telling you not to like it. But it's like when people explain why they don't like Drake, then they gotta be called a hater. Don't speak for me, fuck nigga. I didn't. Oh, you actually hated is what you saying? Some of it was bad house. A lot of it. I would say most of it. But like I said, I'm at the point or at the position where I just don't expect anything from Drake. Good music that's going to stand the test of time. And I've been beaten into submission by constant Drake records. He just kept proving that I shouldn't expect anything from him. I shouldn't, want anything. I shouldn't anticipate anything great. So, I mean, until he drops something that's incredible, that's just the mode that I'm going to be in. Especially when I see people talking about it's the best house. Yeah, like when you make bold claims and bold statements, especially too with Drake, like he basically insinuated people that didn't like this record had to catch up. They had to catch up and they had to get on the bandwagon because we're ahead of the curve. Everybody else just got to catch on. Said from someone who made one of the most uninspired house attempts in history. Everybody else has got to catch up. You're literally behind the curve when it comes to the music that you're making right now, and everybody else has to catch up. And the audience that's like, supporting this music too are saying the same thing. And that's what gets under people's skin, because you got legitimately good, you know what I'm saying, producers of this style of music. Then we got to sit up here and listen to this. And I don't know why people talk about Honestly Nevermind, to be honest. I don't. I think it's just because he has a fan base that's large enough to keep the conversation about that album going, annoying the people who dislike it enough and saying crazy enough shit about it, like how great it is and how it's the best house record ever. And they get mad enough to go into discourse about it. But I really don't sit up here and look at Drake or his music like he's a brand for anything. Like, I don't get what he would be a brand for, because Drake made it. Yeah, but he's a huge artist. Like, he's not the face for a particular style, if that makes any sense. No, I have genuine curiosity about people's perception of Drake. Cause for the life of me, it's hard to get excited for new Drake albums when for the past few years they've all kind of aged the same way.